Good morning, everybody. Welcome to episode 66 of My Yarny Corner. My name's Alex and I live in Yorkshire in the UK, and this is a podcast all about knitting and crochet. So, how are we all doing? Oh, I might have to take my glasses off. Yeah, it's just reflecting the window, isn't it? I bet you can see Jack. If you look probably in this lens, you can see Jack on the window waiting to go out. He's not going out. He's been in and out all morning. He's not going out. So it's been a couple of weeks since the last podcast, and first of all, whoops, I tilted that way because I've got some washing on the radiator, so I'll scoot this way. First of all, huge apologies for ending the vlogs early. We had a family emergency. I cannot go into it. It's A, not for YouTube, but B, it's not my thing to share. Everybody's okay, but the vlogs had to stop, and yeah, so I really can't go into it, but everybody is okay. Thank you all for the very kind messages you've all sent. I had quite a lot of messages, which was so kind. Yeah, it wasn't a nice time, but we're all okay, and I'm sorry that if it was concerning me personally, I would have told you, but it doesn't, so I can't go into it. But yeah, we are all okay, and I just want to say a huge thank you for all of the messages. I had so many messages, and thank you so much. So podcast. So yeah, we ended the vlogs early, which was a little bit of a shame. We didn't get to do the Q&A. Let me just lower you a little bit, that's better. We didn't get to do the Q&A because obviously we'd ended the vlogs early. So we are going to be doing the Q&A on the birthday Bonanza vlogs. Birthday Bonanza starts on the 9th of January, and that's 7 days, 7 vlogs and 7 giveaways. It's very, very exciting. So we'll do the Q&A then. And yes, I feel like I'm all dishevelled. The reason being, we had the worst storm yesterday. I didn't even see it predicted on the weather, but it was horrendous. Just the worst winds and rain and floods, and it was awful. Absolutely awful. The garden's in a mess. It's so dark, which I'm going to try and lighten in editing. But yeah, so my hair is just all dishevelled. I've just tied it back. I need to wash it today, but I haven't had a chance to wash it before the podcast, so I've just tied it back. Yeah, so let's get into the podcast. Right, I do have one finished object. I have notes today. My friend Sue sent me a Christmas box, and she put this gorgeous notebook in it. So I'm going to start making notes for the podcast. So this is going to be my podcast notebook. So I do have notes today, so I have no excuse for forgetting anything. I have written things down. I don't make huge notes. I used to make notes when I first started the podcast, and I followed them religiously. But I just felt that I got so tongue-tied over my notes, I just stopped making them. So I've just written really basic ones, just of what I want to make sure that I talk about, almost just like bullet points. So they're not proper notes, but I have that there. So I have one finished object and 2 works in progress to talk about today. Obviously, it's Advent season. Now, I'm going to give you a little spoiler. In true Alex style, I had my Advent pattern right up until the Wednesday before Advent started, and then I did a complete U-turn. I've done it every year. I have done it every year. I was planning on making the Slate All Day cowl. I'll pop a picture of it on the screen. I had the pattern gifted to me by a lovely viewer, and it was so kind. And I am going to make it with some minis that I've been getting through Advent, or maybe just, I'm going to make it next year. I'm not quite sure. I'm toying with the idea of a fade one, or just all one colour family. So I'm still going to make it. But I got completely sidetracked with another project, which when I tell you about it in a minute, you will say, yeah, Alex, I can imagine that you did. So we have also got the giveaway to announce. I can say the word giveaway now because it's been done. I'm going to pull the winners during the video after I've talked about the works in progress and the finished objects, then I'll do the giveaway. There was we've had actually 3 more prizes donated, so I'll talk about that in a minute. And I've got some patterns that I want to share with you. I've only got a couple of works in progress, so I want to share some patterns as well and just share the love a little bit. So all that was to say, should we just get on with the podcast? I feel like I'm really out of practice. I'm going to be honest, I feel like I'm really out of practice. I feel I'm like, just because it just seems so long since I've spoken to you all. It seems such a long time. But let's just get into the knitting. That's why you're all here. So the finished object that I have, I don't actually have it physically here to show you. I did talk about it on the last episode, and I was making the elf hat for Josh. And I did finish it, and he absolutely loves it. I haven't got a picture of Josh wearing it because he doesn't want to come on the vlogs or podcast or anything, so I put it on myself. So I'll pop that picture on the screen here. It turned out so well. I was so pleased with it. I used Stylecraft Special yarn in DK, and I didn't follow a pattern. I cast on 108 stitches, and I think I used a 4mm needle. And I knit straight. I did about a 2-inch rib on it, or thereabouts a 2-inch rib. And then I did 10 round stripes of each colour. I knit straight for about 7 inches. I'd got it into my head the hat needed to be 20 inches from cast on to cast off. And I wanted a really slow decrease. So I couldn't write down what I'd done because on some of the sections I put 2 decreases in, and in some of the sections I put 3 decreases in. So I decreased at 2 points on the hat, the beginning of round and halfway through, and I would do, obviously I had a stitch marker to mark the beginning of the round and the halfway point, and I did a slip knit on one side of the marker and a knit 2 together on the other side of the marker, and just did it like that. And then so for each colour section that I had, I decreased maybe 2 or 3 times. It depending on how it was looking, as I wanted this really slow decrease. If you are following this and trying to get any information for how I made this hat, I am not explaining it well. I do have more notes on the Ravelry, I promise. But yeah, I just wanted that really gradual decrease. So some of the sections had 3 decreases in, which would have been 6 stitches, and some of the sections only had 2. So I did get the 20 inches from the cast on to the cast off. I did pop a little pom-pom on the end of it, and Josh absolutely loves it. He has worn it so much. In fact, he panicked because he'd lost his hat at one point, and he came home and he said, "Mum, I've lost my elf hat. What am I going to do?" Because he's worn it when he's been out with his friends. He's absolutely loved it. Anyway, he did find it, so it was all okay. But I was thinking, oh, goodness me, I hope I don't have to make another one, because I can't remember what I did to make that one. But yeah, it's done, and he loved it, and I am so pleased with it. So I'd seem to have made quite a few elf-related things over the past few weeks. I've got my elf sweater, my elf socks, and Josh's elf hat. I did have enough to make another hat, but I just thought that no, Finlay wasn't bothered about one, and I thought if I knit one, I'm just going to wear it everywhere and people are going to laugh at me. So yeah, that was my only finished object. Shall we get into the works in progress? I'm going to keep you all in suspense. Before I talk about the advent knitting, I'm going to show you my second work in progress. So, oops, they are here. This is one of the bags that I made. It's a little Snoopy one. I stole it from the shop. You know me and Snoopy. So the yarn was a gift from, I met Laura and Karen, if you remember, just before we ended the vlogs. We went to Ilkley and we met in Ilkley. I keep playing with my hair because it's such a mess. And they both gave me some lovely gifts. And one of the gifts that Laura gave me was this yarn. It's Stylecraft Head Over Heels. Is that Stylecraft? I've lost the label. I kept the label as well. Yeah, Stylecraft. It's a Head Over Heels yarn, and it's the colourway Amazon. Laura said as soon as she saw it, she knew that I would love it, and I absolutely do. So when I have finished my advent knitting for the day, I have been working on these socks. The plan was to do some advent socks, but I'll explain why in a minute. I've not had enough yarn to do them. So I thought, well, I'll crack into this yarn that Laura gave me. Oh, and I just love it so much. I need a sock blocker. Let me just grab a sock blocker. So I have actually finished one of the socks. So when I've done my advent knitting for the day, I'm just knitting these socks. And this is the first one finished. Oh, isn't it gorgeous? Isn't it beautiful? Do you like my little stitch marker? My friend Sue sent me that. I just love it. I love it so, so much. It's got pinks and greens, which is my favourite colour combination. So all I've done is cast on 64 stitches. I've started doing 20 rounds for the cuff. It's just, that was Jack. Jack never meows, ever. Anyway, it's gone out now. Right. So I've started doing 20 rounds of 2x2 ribbon for my cuff. It's just, it stops them falling down. It's a much better amount. I used to do 15. Now I just find 20 is so much better. So it's 20 round for the cuffs. I've also started doing a 50 round leg. These don't have a 50 round leg. It's 47, just because I wanted to end it on this yellow stripe. Shadow wrap heel. I do have a tutorial on the channel for a shadow wrap heel if you've never tried one. And then I do 56 rounds for the foot. And then I put in, I think it's called a wedge toe. And that is how I knit my vanilla socks. I just love this. I absolutely love this yarn. It's just beautiful. So yeah, these are just, once the advent knitting is done for the day, I can pick up the socks. The second one, I've literally only just got past the cuff. This will drive my friend Sue nuts because they are not matching. I did consider making them match, but once I finish these socks, I want to be able to have some yarn left for a granny square, for my granny square project for the year, which I'll talk about again in a minute. So I didn't want to be wasting any yarn. So I've literally, where I've finished here, I've gone straight onto the cast on. My friend Sue would be just shutting her eyes at this. She has to have her socks matched perfectly. It doesn't bother me at all. So yeah, they don't match, but once the second sock's done, you're going to be able to see that they are matching socks. It's fine. But yeah. So that is my second advent project. Now, let's pop that back in there. My first advent project. So as I mentioned earlier, the plan was to do the Slay All Day cowl. Now, what I should have done is stayed very clear of Ravelry until I had cast on my project. Every single year that I've been doing advent knitting, I have done a complete U-turn on the project at the last minute. So I did suspect I was going to do it. I know what I'm like. I was sitting on Ravelry. So Advent started on the Friday. That was the 1st of December. And it was the Wednesday evening. I was sitting on Ravelry just having a flick. I like to have a flick on Ravelry just to see what's going on. And if I see any patterns, I make a note of them for the podcast or for a pattern review. And I'm always on Ravelry. So I was sitting and I was having a look, and I came across a pattern for a mystery shawl knit along. Well, you can just imagine I was sold instantly. I love a mystery knit. It doesn't always work in my favour. Sometimes I'll start it and I'm not enjoying it, or it's not really my thing. Sometimes I do it and I'm so pleased that I've done it. It doesn't matter to me whether I end up finishing it or not. I just enjoy the mystery aspect of any kind of mystery knit along. So when I saw the mystery shawl knit along, I thought that's absolutely what I'm doing. Now the pattern is by Renee Strout. I will pop a picture on the screen. I did get the pattern for free. It was free until the 30th of November, and I did put it in the Facebook group straight away, so anybody else that wanted to join along could also get the pattern for free. And there were quite a few members in the Facebook group also making the same pattern, so that's made me really happy. It's a paid for pattern now. I can't remember exactly how much. I think it's around £4. Absolutely worth it. I had never heard of this designer before. I must admit I was a little bit nervous because I'd never heard of the designer, and normally when I do a mystery knit along I know the designer's work, so I've got a good idea of whether or not I'm going to enjoy it. So I was a little bit nervous. Now let me grab it. So did I say I was going to put a picture on the screen? I can't. It's a mystery knit along. It is the best project I could have had, because we had all, you know, it's been a little bit of a rocky start to December for us. So I needed really simple knitting, and this has just been perfect. It's, let me just show you. So which way are we up? This way. I've got a little jingly stitch marker on it, so every time I knit on it, it jingles. It's brilliant. Yeah, this way. So this is it. I'm kind of holding it at an angle because I can't really hold it properly. But this is where we started. Day 1 was here. And then we had day 2, then day 3. And then this one here was day 4. Day 5 was the grey one. And it's just kind of gone like that. It's a really, really easy pattern. There's nothing difficult in it whatsoever, but it has been so much fun to make. It really, really has. What I've really enjoyed, and I've got my yarn all wrapped around this. How have I done that? Goodness, Alex. What I've really enjoyed making this is the designer has really gone to great lengths to use as much of the Advent Mini as possible, and I've really appreciated that because I've hardly had any scraps. The pattern is designed to use 10 gram minis or 20 gram minis. I'm doing the 20 gram, so I'm doing the bigger size. Just look at it. Just look how beautiful it is, isn't it? It's huge already. This is day 10 here. This is today's. I've started this morning, and there's hardly any wastage whatsoever. At the end of each day I've got between 3 and 4 grams left, which is just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I wanted a project where I used so much of the yarn, and I cannot rave about this pattern enough. It's obviously scrappy, it's an Advent project. It's all garter stitch, so there's nothing difficult. It's all garter stitch, so it's incredibly squishy, and it's just lovely, just absolutely lovely. We've been sharing in the Facebook group our Advent projects, and the people that are also making this have obviously done it in different colours, and it looks amazing. Every single one looks amazing. So yeah, I am so pleased with it. I think it's going to be very, very big, because like I say, this is only day 10 and we've still got another 14 days to go, so it's going to be huge. So this is all my Yarny Corner Advent. This is the wildlife Advent that we did. That's my favourite one. This was the trickiest colour to do. This one is a parrot, so we based all of our colours on wildlife animals. And this one was a parrot, and it was really tricky to do. And I am so pleased with how it's knit up. I really am so pleased. It looks exactly how I wanted it to look. So yeah, that is my Advent project. I am so pleased with it. So I have gone and looked at Renee Strout's Ravelry page. Let me just pop this away before I get it tangled anymore. 1 second. Need that there. Yeah, I've looked at Renee Strout's Ravelry page, and she's got some absolutely lovely designs on there, some really nice ones. I have come across on her page, which I wanted to share with you, which is the Scrample shawl. I think it's absolutely fabulous. I'll pop a picture on the screen. That is a free pattern. I don't know if it's free for a certain amount of time or it's always free. I don't know, but that is on my list for next year. So I've downloaded that already, and I will be making that next year. It's just fabulous. I love anything scrappy. I don't know. I think it's that feeling of just putting the colours together and you don't quite know how it's going to end up. Plus you get to use a lot of the yarn that ordinarily would just sit in a jar or sit in the bottom of a box because it's so small. And I love it. I love to make anything scrappy. So that's all my knitting. I have been so good. I've been itching to cast on some more projects. My plan for next year is no more than 3 whips. That does not include any long-term projects that I've got on the go. If I've got a blanket on the go or something else, it doesn't include that. But I am going to be so strict with myself next year and no more than 3 whips. What I've learned this year is I can't handle more than 3 whips. And if I cast on more than 3 whips, I'm only going to frog it because I get too overwhelmed. So I've been really good this past few weeks of not casting on any more projects. And it's been really hard because I've really wanted to, but I've been really good. Right, sip of my coffee. So there are a couple of patterns that I want to talk about. One of them is one that I want to cast on next year. So this first pattern is the Fireside sweater. I'll pop a picture on the screen. It's by Amber Allison. Now, I did get this for my birthday this year because it's been on my radar for quite some time. And I got the pattern, downloaded the pattern, and then I got really overwhelmed with it. If I remember correctly, it's just charts and I got really overwhelmed. It's not a size inclusive pattern either. I think it's only got 3 sizes in it. My size is not in it. I normally do an extra large. So it's Aran weight and it's a 6mm needle. So what I thought I'd do is play around with gauge and needles and go up a needle size and see if I can get the size that I want by going up a needle size. So I'm going to have a little bit of a play with that pattern in the new year. I'm not saying that I'm going to make it straight away. It's on my radar and I would really like to make it. If you've not seen the pattern, it's based on the cardigan. What's she called now? I can't remember what her name is. The cardigan is in The Holiday. I can't remember what the actress's name is. And she wears the cardigan in The Holiday. It's that pattern. And I just absolutely love it. I love cables. I'm just not brilliant at charts. I can do, if it's a really easy chart, say for a sock, I can follow it. But I get numbers mixed up really easy. So when I'm looking at charts, everything just jumbles for me. And I find it really difficult to do. So what I could do is look at it and then write the instructions down row by row rather than having to follow a chart. But yeah, it's something that I'm considering for next year. I would really like to do it. It's been on my list so long. When I got the pattern last year, I looked at it and I thought, there's no way I can do this. But the feeling of wanting to make it has not gone. So I think it's time I gave the pattern a try. So that's on my radar for next year. Also, the Mittens. That's such a cool name, Mittens. This is a pattern by Joanna Ignatius. I think that's how you say the name. And I came across this pattern on Ravelry and love it. Just absolutely love it. I love the whole design of these mittens. I'll pop a picture on the screen. So these are £4.38. And so the idea with these mittens is it's a full mitten all the way over your fingers with a really long ribbon for the cuff. And I believe that the ribbon for the cuff has got some increases in for a thumb gusset. I'm sure I've read that. When it's really cold, you can pull the ribbon right up and there's a hole for your thumb right up over to cover your hands, which for me is perfect. So I am definitely going to be casting these on in January. Can't wait. I may even cast them on sooner than that. They may not wait till January. It's a fingering weight pattern, I believe. And I just love the whole idea of it. I really do. I love the fact that you can either have this really long rib or you can fold it over and just have extra warmth. I really need some mittens. I've only got fingerless gloves, so I really need some mittens. This past few weeks, the weather has been so cold. My little car is not built for winter whatsoever. So we've really struggled sort of getting the car de-iced, and my fingers have been freezing while I've been scraping the windows, and I need some proper mittens. So I really want to make those. So that's something else that is on my radar. I cannot wait. I really can't wait. But I may cast them on, like I say, sooner. I've lost my pen for this book. It had its own pen. Do you know, pens in this house just disappear. When Sue sent me this book, it had a pen. What have I done with it? Let me find it. Found it. I get really protective over pens because they just disappear. And it's not like, apart from Finn with his schoolwork, it's not like anybody really needs pens, but they still disappear. So I get really protective over them. So I'm keeping that pen in there. Danny's laughing at me, and he may well laugh, but when I'm knitting, I need to write something down.
I'm hide that pen.
And that's what he will do. He will hide the pen because he's heard me say it. You know what it's like when you're knitting and you need a pen and you can't find one? It happens so much. So I'm keeping that. It fits in there, and I'm keeping it.
I'm going to make a piece of card saying I was a pen and put it there.
It's so bad. Right. So next thing I would like to get done is the giveaway. So I showed you all the prizes last time. We have had 3 new prize donations from the lovely Lynn, who is a member of our Facebook group, and she sent a set for me and some for the giveaway, which, look at those. Aren't they beautiful? She said she wanted them to go to people that she knew would appreciate them, and we absolutely will. They are absolutely beautiful. So I've got, pick them stitch markers up that just dropped, darling. So we now have, we've got the gift from Shelley. I'll go through them all when I draw winners. The yarn, some 4 sets of stitch markers, 3 pattern prizes, a bag from Jeanette, some yarn from us. So I have already gone ahead this morning on the iPad and put the video into a comment picker. I just need to turn down the brightness so you can actually see it. So brightness on my iPad. Where's the brightness? General. Display and brightness, that's it. So if I turn that right down, you should be able to see it. Right. So I've gone ahead and, oh, that's not helpful. You can just see me in the camera, look. And I have loaded the comments. There were 165 comments. I didn't reply to anybody. I just gave everybody a love heart, unless anybody asked a specific question, just because I wasn't sure I could not include replies. So the first one, let's just start at the beginning of the list. Where's my list? Oh, goodness, I'm getting in a tangle. I'm not prepared today. Right, the first one on my list is the gift from Shelley, which is this one. And we'll pop it in tissue paper again. Shelley had it all wrapped up so beautifully. And because I've opened it so many times, I've ruined the tissue paper. So you've got 5 20-gram mini skeins. And this beautiful tin, which is fully loaded with notions and a pen. We all need a pen. And everything that you need. I've just noticed that purple mini's come undone. Let me just see if I can twist that back through. There we go. Right, pop that back in there. So the first prize is for this gift from Shelley. Right, what I'm going to be doing is I'm not posting anything before Christmas. I don't want anything caught up in the Christmas rush. So I'll probably wait till the new year to post everything. And pick a winner. Barbara Stark, LY3SG. Thank you for all the blogs and congratulations on 2,000 subscribers. Yay! I've got to hold it like that because it's just, there you go, you can sort of see it. So, Barbara, congratulations. You have won Shelley's gift. I am just going to write your name next to...
Don't lose your pen.
I'm not going to lose my pen.
Can you get your
I
pen?
can't open my book.
This is right.
Oh, no. Right, write your name there. So, that is Barbara Stark. So, Barbara, if you can contact me on Instagram or email, everything's linked in the description box below about where you can find me. Sorry, I dropped my card. I will not contact anybody. So, if you are a winner, you have to contact me. I won't contact you. I won't ask for any money for postage. If anybody asks you for anything like that, it's a scam and don't do it. I will wait for you to contact me and then I will reply to whichever method you've used to contact me. So, Barbara Stark is the first winner. The next one is the beautiful yarn that my friend gave me for the giveaway, which is this one. So this is Witch Crafty Lady. It's absolutely beautiful. And it's a DK Way in the colourway Pumpkin. So, next winner. Pick a winner. Rena Robertson 9831, you have won that prize. Oops. So Rena, if you can get in touch with me, Rena Robertson, and the next one are these stitch markers. Absolutely beautiful. These are by Obsession Yarns and they are all little cats. They are just gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. The winner for that one is Hannah's Happy Space. So Hannah, you have won them gorgeous stitch markers. If you can get in touch with me as well. I'm going to have to do a little line up there for that one because I've left no room to write it. Hannah's Happy Space. Hannah actually has a YouTube channel which I will link in the description box below. For those of you that don't know who Hannah is, you can go and say hello. She is lovely. She really is. And the next one is for a pattern from Karen at Stitches and Jacks. I will also link Karen's podcast in the description box below so you can contact Karen directly if you are a winner of this. Most of you I know watch Karen. So let me just pick a winner for Karen. Jenny Allen 8794. So Jenny Allen, you need to contact Karen. I didn't read Hannah's comment. Jenny Ellen says, congratulations on your 2,000 subscribers. Very well done. Looks like you have a lovely bunch of flowers. Thank you for sharing your podcast and hope you had a fantastic times with your friends. Loving the gnome and looking forward to the live die tomorrow. So, Jenny, if you can contact Karen, I will leave a link to her podcast in the description box below. I think you already watched Karen anyway. Jenny Ellen. The next prize is from my friends Sue and Liz at Distant Stitches. They are donating 2 pattern prizes. So I'm going to be picking 2 winners for this one. The first one is Tina GI10T. So well done, Tina. So we've got, where am I going to write this one? Tina. And whoops, a daisy, my pad's gone upside down. The second winner is Nina Poppy 77. See the Christmas tree there? And you said, love your podcast, Alex. You're always so cheery. I'm pinching your idea of the Granny Square memory blanket. Love it. I haven't mentioned that yet. I'll have to mention that. Starting in the new year. So that is Nina Poppy. So you two will need to contact Sue at Distant Stitches. I will link her podcast in the description box below. So you need to go and watch the podcast to find out how to contact her. So sneaky, but you will love Sue. Sue's also doing Vlogmas as well. It's the first time she's done the Vlogmas. And she's doing it because I just nattered and nattered and nattered at her till she did, which was so lovely. So, yeah, go over and say hi to Sue at Distant Stitches. I will let Sue know that you're coming. But yeah, you'll just need to contact them directly. So the next one is another prize that's been donated from the lovely Jeanette. Now, I know pretty much all of you watch Jeanette at Crafty Clegs Creations, and she has very kindly donated a bag. I don't have a picture to show you. She did send me a picture and Instagram of taking it off, so I can't show you a picture. I know it's beautiful. So the next winner, you will have to contact Jeanette directly. Again, I will leave her information to her podcast in the description box below. So if you're not already a subscriber of Jeanette's, you're going to have to watch a podcast to get the information about how to contact her. And so the winner of Jeanette's bag is Michelle Henderson 2773. And you said, congratulations, Alex and Danny. You deserve a big bunch of flowers and I just love your yarn. See you tomorrow. So, Michelle, you have won Jeanette's bag. So you need to contact Jeanette. If I've gone through any of this quickly and you've won a prize from somebody else, just contact me and ask and I'll direct you to them. Because I think I've waffled a little bit. I do tend to do that sometimes. So that's Michelle Henderson. The next one is the yarn from us, which is a mini skein set in the colourway Sleigh Ride. These are all 20 gram minis and 25 superwash merino. So this is for the next prize. And the winner of this one is Tracy Carol Gorchie. Oh, you are one of our customers. Congratulations. I'm not sure if you've already got this. I will talk to you if you've already got it. I don't know if you've already bought this yarn. If you have, we'll switch it for something else. So Tracy said, I'm going to show you the comment first. I'm sorry if I've not said your last name correctly as well. I do apologise. What amazing flowers and generous, amazing people. I decided to get the cardigan pattern when you were making it. I'm very near to finishing. Thanks for the recommendation. Great pattern too. I can see me making another one. Oh, thank you so much. So, Tracy, you have won the mini skein set. But if you've already got it, because I do have a feeling you have this already, just let me know and we'll switch it out for something else. So that is Tracy. Write that down. And the next one is these gorgeous. I've got three. Where's my other one gone? There it is. So then we have these beautiful, beautiful stitch markers. So one each. So the first one is going to Kesmes 1464. I think I know who that is, but I'm not going to say in case I'm wrong. So you have won a set of stitch markers. So you said, woohoo, congratulations, can't wait to see the finished elf hat. The next one for the stitch markers is Anne Haywood. I know who you are, Anne. And you said, congratulations, Alex and Danny, lovely flowers, what a fun name. The elf socks are super and your hexie cardigan is gorgeous. Do you still get a nice drape with the crochet as you would knitting? I think I did. This was one of the ones I answered. Yes, you do if you use a bigger size hook. I always make sure I use a bigger size hook so I get that drape. Otherwise crochet can be a little bit stiff. But yeah, so Anne Haywood, you have won a set of stitch markers. If you can contact me, just so I know that you've seen it. I do have your address anyway. But just so I know you've seen it. And the last one for the stitch markers is Laura and Cameron. Found your podcast this year and really enjoying it. Oh, we've got a new subscriber. Yay! So, Laura Ann, if you can get in touch with me, you have also won a set of the stitch markers. Wow, that was a lot. Laura and Cameron. Oh, they want to wrap up with that. Thank you, darling. In that tissue paper. So, have you got a bag to pop all these prizes in, darling? I've got prizes everywhere. And my jumper's falling
I do, but I decided just to pop on and say I'm giving this one away as well.
Because that wasn't enough.
No, it wasn't enough, so I thought, you know, because I'm in the background.
I like this one. This is mustard pot. I had this. I stole one of these from the shop.
I'm just chucking it in, you see. A little bit of
So we have one more prize. I'm going to have to write that down. He's playing with my lists. Mustard pot. He's so bad, isn't he? We've got birthday bonanza.
Maybe a giveaway without me involved, did you?
Right, mustard pot. One more winner. Luckily, I still have the thing open. One more winner. In Stitches with Julie. Oh, I know who Julie is. Congratulations on reaching 2K. I love the flower gifts. In Stitches with Julie. You have won the extra giveaway prize that Danny's just popped in the pot. So, I thought he was getting another one and I was about to stop the camera and say, no!
I did think about it.
In Stitches with Julie. Right, so I've got all my names written down. So, if I've gone through that too quickly for anybody and you've won a prize off somebody else, just contact me and I will direct you to where you need to go. The Jeanette, Karen and Sue and Liz, I will link their channels in the description box below so you can go directly to their channel. I could just link the email address, I could do that, but I'm not going to because they've been so kind enough to donate to the channel. I would like you to go and look at one of the videos if you're not already a subscriber and get the information by looking at the videos because I just think that's the right thing to do. So, wow, that is all the prizes. I need a drink. I'm very thirsty now. I feel like I've lost my voice a little bit. That was really exciting. I just love doing giveaways. I really do. I need to put my pen back. Will you stick that on there, darling? It's so much fun. I just love it. It's just... That's why I always look forward to Birthday Bonanza. That's the time of the year where we just make it about giveaways. So if you are new, I know we've obviously had quite a number of some subscribers since we did the Birthday Bonanza last year. It starts on the 9th of January and it runs until the 16th of January. The reason it's called Birthday Bonanza is because it's Finlay's birthday on the 6th of January. It's my birthday on the 9th of January, which incidentally is the same as Karen at Stitches and Jacks. The podcast has a birthday on the 11th of January and then it's Danny's birthday on the 16th of January. So it's a huge birthday celebration. That's why we call it Birthday Bonanza. And we start it on the 9th and every single day we do a giveaway. So the first day is the day that you comment. So there's no giveaway on that first day. I think that's how I do it. And then the comments from the first day we draw on the next day and we pick winners that way. So there's a giveaway every single day. And it's very, very exciting. But that's usually our big giveaway of the year. We do still do them throughout the year, but that's our big one for the entire year. So, yeah, that starts soon. Did you put that in the bag with them? Sorry, darling. It's just sat back down. Oh, well. Yeah, right. I wanted to talk about my granny square blanket because I forgot to mention it on the last podcast. Or did I mention it on the vlogs? I can't really remember. So I'm doing a granny square for every single project. This is, I'm saying it starts next year. I've already started it. For every project that I finish, which is 4-ply yarn, I'm making a granny square. With the hope that at the end of it, I'll have enough granny squares to turn it into a really, really big blanket. So I have managed to get some of my advent squares in, which I want to show you now. I think that's it. So when I'd been finishing the Advent knitting, and I'd said I'd had like 3 to 4 grams left of the yarn, it wasn't a lot, it wasn't enough to really do much with that. I could have made socks if I'd had 4 grams, but some of the days I only had 3. So I have been making granny squares with what's left over. So there are 2 colours on this one. You can't really tell. But yeah. So I've made these squares as well. So I'm even working on my next year's project. I have wasted nothing of the Advent yarn. Nothing whatsoever. So I've got a nice little pile of squares now. It's growing. That's my box where I'm keeping all my, well, that's what the Advent came in. If you bought an Advent offers, that's what the Advent came in. But once I've finished with obviously opening all the Advents, I'm going to keep all my granny squares in the box. So yeah, right. So I just want to have a little bit of a chat about the update. Last year, what we did was we changed the dates of the update. Our updates, one second. Our yarn shop updates have always been on the 1st of the month. Obviously, the 1st of the month in January is New Year's Day. People are busy. They're not, you know, nobody's going to be wanting to buy yarn. Excuse me, nobody's going to be wanting to buy yarn. So what we did last year was we did the update on the 9th at the start of Birthday Bonanza. And then, of course, that had a knock-on effect for the next few months because we couldn't do the following update on the 1st because it had been so close to the other one. So what we've decided to do this year is not have an official update during January. There will be one on the 1st of the 1st of February. But the January official update won't happen. There won't be one on the 1st. We will be putting yarn into the shop and it'll be talked about during the Birthday Bonanza vlogs. It'll be talked about in the Facebook group. When we do Birthday Bonanza, we always have something a little bit different that comes along, something that we've not done before. Last year, we made little yarn cakes with fade yarn. Sometimes we keep that product in the shop, you know, from that point forward. Sometimes it's just been something that we've done for Birthday Bonanza. So the fade yarn that we did last year was just for Birthday Bonanza. We do have something special coming to the shop for Birthday Bonanza this year.
Oh, yes,
I'm not going to tell you what it is. We'll tell you on the first day of Birthday Bonanza. But yeah, I just wanted to make you aware there is no shop update on the 1st, but there is stuff going into the shop, which we'll be talking about during Birthday Bonanza. Did that make sense? There just isn't a lot of point, and I don't want to do what we did last year, which was change the date of the update, because it did have such a knock-on effect. Sorry, got a frog in my throat. It had such a knock-on effect, and people have got used to our dates being the 1st of every month for the shop update. And of course, you know, we just confused everybody. We confused ourselves more than anything. So we're not going to do that this year. There will be stuff going into the shop. We'll let you know. If you're not a member of the Facebook group, do consider becoming a member if you use Facebook, because a lot of things go into the Facebook group. I'm not brilliant at Instagram. I try really hard with Instagram, but I find Instagram extremely frustrating. I don't like the way that they do things now where you're only seeing top posts. I don't agree with it. You know, I want to see the posts that from the people that I follow, whether it's a top post or not. And I don't get to see it. I just see things with all the likes on. So I'm not brilliant at Instagram anymore. I do try and share finished projects on there, and I do have a quick flick from time to time, but I'm not great at it. Danny does share on Instagram more than I do. Anytime we've got anything coming up for the shop, Danny will share it, and he's really good at doing it. So make sure that you're following Danny on Instagram as well for shop news. But I do put things on the community posts on YouTube. I use that a lot because I'm aware that not everybody has Instagram or Facebook. And I know there's quite a number of my subscribers that do not use Instagram or Facebook. So I do, especially with the updates, I always put the pictures onto a YouTube community post. So if there is anything going into the shop during January, I will put it on a YouTube community post, and I will obviously share it in the Facebook group as well. I think that is everything. I feel like I've got something else to talk about, but I don't think I have, because I had my list this time and I have stuck to my list. So I don't think there's anything else to talk about, but I do feel like I've missed something. I just don't know what. But the next podcast is due on Christmas Eve. I'm not going to be filming on Christmas Eve. Obviously, it's going to be very busy. So I'm going to film on that little period, Twixmas period. I'm going to film a podcast then, and I can show you what I've got for Christmas. I'm not sure I'm getting anything yarny related this year. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, the next podcast will be the in-between period between Christmas and New Year. Possibly the Wednesday or something. Christmas Day is on the Monday, isn't it? And then Boxing Day is Tuesday. It might be the Wednesday or Thursday that I film the episode. But yeah, so there'll be no podcast sort of a week on Sunday because it's Christmas Eve and I'll be too busy. Christmas Eve, I cook the gammon. We always have a gammon for Christmas Day dinner. Danny and Josh also like a turkey, but I get a really big gammon and I cook that Christmas Eve. So that is all done and ready and finished, and I'm busy doing that Christmas Eve. And then Christmas Day, when they want a turkey, did you have one last year? No, that we had a turkey fail last year. Good job I had my trusty gammon, because I don't like turkey, but Danny and Josh both love it. So I'd bought them a turkey crown. I think it was from Tesco's, and I'd cooked it, and it must have been a previously frozen one, and the middle was completely raw. And the outside, by this point, it had been in the oven way too long. And the outside was burnt to a cinder and the middle was completely raw. So it had to go in the bin. It must have been either at the back of the fridge and had been iced a little bit, or it had been frozen and not thoroughly defrosted. I bought it from the fresh section, but I was really cross because it wasn't cheap. And yeah, we had a bit of a fail, but we had my trusty gammon to fall back on, which was fine. And that is another reason why I always do the gammon at Christmas Eve. Years ago, I used to do chicken for Christmas Day years and years ago, and I'd open the chicken on Christmas Day and it was off. So I always make sure I cook my gammon on Christmas Eve for the simple reason I can make sure it's all right, and if there's any last minute emergencies, I can run to a supermarket on Christmas Eve. That's why I do it. I don't know why you needed to know all that, but yeah. Christmas Eve is usually filled with last minute preparations and yeah, one thing and another. So I cannot believe it's nearly Christmas. I really can't believe it's nearly Christmas. It's going so fast. This December is just flying. So whatever you do on Christmas Day, I hope you have a really, really lovely day. I hope that some of you get yarn or maybe a stitch marker or two. Yeah, so I won't see you before, but have a lovely, lovely Christmas, everybody. Thank you for spending this past year with us, and we will see you again in 2 weeks' time, in that in-between period where nobody knows what day it is, what day the bins are supposed to go out, or really what's going on. I'll be back then. Bye, everybody.